Good evening, welcome back. It's the Student StarCraft AI tournament once again, and this week we have the theme called Random, and we'll be looking at a lot of random bots. But first, the one and only recommendation I received this week, it's Purple Spirit versus Killerbot. And Killerbot, of course, is playing as Zerg, and Purple Spirit looks like rolled... oh dear, no, it's not the Purple Random. It is the Terran version, and that's going to be quite interesting. Scouting drone on its way, and no scouting SCV yet. Will there be one? Doesn't look like it really. Scouting drone picking the wrong path, or getting stuck on the power generators. Always nasty things to navigate. And it's going to find the Terran. Wow, that's pretty cute. Of course, you've got that... 1/3 of a chance. Oh, and now 2 scouting SCVs all at once. That's pretty devious. One to the left, one to the right. And of course the enemy is right over here, so yeah, that's going to take a while. Going to visit all the colonies as well, and this one will just make damn sure there isn't anything here. And head back, and the other one is doing the same thing. And perhaps, no, they will find the enemy before any Zerglings are out. They are going to take a little while, and that is going to be a very quick sunken, but not quick enough because here come 2 SCVs, and the lair is started as well. Oh, and they are they will just content themselves with knowing where the Zerg is and not really scouting out the build order, which is a rather quick lair, all in all. And now they head back home. Small string of Marines, nice concave over here, reordering as new Marines pop up. And I think that this is a little bit of an omission, because you'd really like to know what's going on in the main. Sunken placement really rather awkward, unless there are going to be drops, of course, but no sign of those yet. And I think that is an interesting position to build the spire, because ideally you'd like to, well, perhaps if the enemy's got a comsat, you can sort of count on scouting, scanning the main first, and then you'll have the other scan, but it's really rather in plain sight, and this would be a better position where you could scout it from the high ground. I don't think that bots are that devious yet, and here comes the Marine push. The medics are far behind, and the fire bats as well. Small peek at the upgrades, they have got stim, so that will be interesting, and only one sunken, and the muters are morphing, but they are going to be... oh, here goes the stim, and all the Marines head back. I do not know why, because only one sunken is not all that dangerous. There is no eBay yet. And that is peculiar. It got abandoned, and immediately heavy defenses thrown up at the natural. Oh, and here are the muters, and they are going to go right at a group of stim Marines, and now straight into the main, and that's going to be pretty ugly because there is nothing there. The main army is outside, and with only 2 barracks pumping Marines, that's going to take a little while before any kind of resistance can be mustered. Here comes another muter, and there will be muters over here as well, and that will be a large group of muters, but it looks like they can't really gather up. And they will do now, and let's see how good this muter micro actually is. Another muter taking a little bit of flak. But I think now the group is there. Will they have any upgrades? No, not yet. Oh, lurkers are morphing in the rear. And a lot of Marines are dying. These muters, I think, are still the best microed, even though they take some glaring Marine shots from time to time and lose a lot of life. And that shot at this unfinished depot was really not worth it. This is a nice position though, can pick up some SCVs, and you can see that Purple Spirit, although it's got 2 command centers pumping full time. Oh, the muters staying in there a little bit too long. Quite precarious, lots of stims going off. The medics have a hard time keeping up. And here come the turrets. So I think that for the next wave round, Purple Spirit is going to be in an okay position, but here come already the Hydras. And there is no comsat yet, so that's going to be pretty dangerous. Ooh, and look at these Marines, they've stimped themselves half to death. And this medic will, or these medics will have their hands full. Will we have more muters? Doesn't look like it. And a very small economy by Killerbot could do with another hatchery. But for the time being, the pressure definitely is on. No, you can't have... It's really only 3 muters. that's all there is. That's the entire army of course, the lurker eggs are not being counted, but they are now being spotted. And, oh dear, that was already started. So I think that Purple Spirit is in an okay position. And these mutas, oh, had really rather be careful, because there are only 2 left. And I think they are going to be sacrificed. The Stimp Marines, the last muta. Oh dear, oh dear, and now there is only 1. But here come the lurkers. And this Marine is running for its life. Oh, 1 scan wasted. That's really precocious. Or really too early. Down, down, down. 1 lurker dies. Oh, and the Marine. Oh, God. It's 5 lurkers knocking at the door, and there is no scan left. And these lurkers don't know it, so that's cute. Killabot, meanwhile, is not really making workers, is not taking another expansion. Here come the lurkers, but they don't burrow, and that's bullshit. 1 did get its ugly head down, and if this turret can be prevented from complete... This is... Oh, the mutas were so good, but the lurkers are just badly microed. That has got to be said. And now the turret is up in the natural, so prioritizing wise, I don't think that Killabot is doing as well with the lurkers as it did with the mutas. What's it building though? Now it's building some drones and some mutas again, and I don't really think you can get back into mutas after you've already transitioned. What the fuck is this? This is absolute... Oh god, lurkers being wasted left, right and center, and the 1 muta is doing what it can, but it's dead, so it can't do anything anymore. That's complete rubbish. And although the worker count is growing, I don't think without an army you are going to do pretty well. And if your lurker micro, a unit which you are just transitioning into, is that bad... Oh god, I can't bear to watch. Occasionally, once a lurker is down, it does great, and the Marines are equally bad at navigating lurkers as the lurkers are in attacking Marines straight up. But this game is, by that reason, in some kind of a balanced state right now. There are some mutas and there are no Marines, so the medics are in grave peril, that must be said. This 1 Marine is doing what it can, and Purple Spirit is having great difficulties in keeping his army together. There are a lot of turrets though, so the muta weapon is... Oh, it has just been made rather redundant. Now the lurkers are doing a lot of damage, and if their burrow micro is up to... Oh god, it's so... They are taking so much damage for no reason at all. The scans... Why? It's so beyond me how, if you've got this good muta micro, how can your lurker micro be that lacking? The Marines are happy to have themselves skewered on these spines though. That's absolutely insane. No 3rd base for Purple Spirit yet. Has got almost 50 workers. Has stopped producing. That's good. But how these lurkers imagine moving into a position just by walking is completely beyond me. The mutas, how many have we got? We've got about 7, so they are doing quite well. They haven't all gathered up yet, so that's... And another lurker just trying to walk straight into this defended position. That's awkward. 3rd base just sort of completed. There aren't any workers there, so that's not really going to work. Pun not intended, but apt. And here goes a battle between 1 vulture and 1 lurker. And the comp sets are still empty, so I think that this 1 lurker, if it just burrow... Oh god, there it goes again, I can't. Oh, it's so hard to watch. Upgrade-wise, Marines have got the +1 attack, the range, the stim... Oh, our radiate's done as well, or researching, and +1 body armor is being researched as well. The mutas are doing okay, their number is, well, slowly increasing. There is a Wraith. Might be a science vessel somewhere, 2 Stargates, that's good. This base is not operational, it's just being defended and lots of infrastructure, and the drone count for Killabot is pretty low. And now I think that Spirit is going to take a base, and that is what you've got to nib in the bud, because if not, you are going to face a 3-base Terran with science vessels, and that is pretty dangerous. How many mutas have we got? We've got about 7. I'd say for an AI, their micro is pretty sophisticated. It will be difficult, however, as the number of turrets is going to increase and the Marines are going to increase in number as well. So, although they can do some hit and runs, it's nothing like real damage they are doing at this point. Nice irradiate going off on a full health muter. And the Overlord sees it, but no one's doing anything about it. Oh, one lurker's being sent over. Lots of hatches, but no workers. It's, oh, the worker count slowly rising. But problem is for Zerg that the Terran army count is growing rapidly. And of course, with a couple of science vessels overhead, you don't need to... Why would you scan over here? I don't know. You don't need to scan as often as you originally would. And if the Marine... Oh, there are muters in the main, and the Marines can't think of a meaningful way to move out of there. And with a medic in the mineral line, I think that's going to be okay. The lurker just got killed by something, completely missed that, sorry. And now the Terran army is out and Zerg is killing power generators. I don't know why. And lurkers just evaporate at this point. Their burrow micro is just too bad, and the Marines, you see their number, although they are badly damaged. Get down! Oh dear. It's pretty hard to be a Zerg these days. Lots and lots of hatches. Defense, oh, well, you can scout it, but you've got to do something about it too, and it's going to be difficult if this Terran army is going to grow in strength, and that is a lot of science vessels. Stim Bio, ooh, with the irradiates overhead, the lurkers aren't doing damage anymore at all. The Marines have just got too much damage potential. And, oh, this lurker is doing pretty good versus the medics. There is some bio over here, and you can see at this point how many vessels have we got. We've got 10 vessels, so that's quite a lot. And I think that Killer should be doing something about that. Macro-wise, though, Killer is exploding. And although... Oh, here comes some more barracks. Purple Spirit is going to build more barracks. That's good. You see Marines over everything. But Killer is having a hard time doing anything about those science vessels. We've got 11 right now. Have they got the energy upgrade? I don't think that's it. That's for the medics. Hard to say. Haven't seen these upgrades with the mouse over ability in ages. And you can see that the Marines with the science vessels are doing quite well against the lurkers. We've got 12 vessels now. And Zerg at this point doesn't even have 12 army supply and no sunkens at all. So this is going to be quite rubbish. And you can see Terran just running away with this game. 12 science vessels, 27 Marines. And Zerg, what the hell are you doing? You should just build... Oh god, you're going to see batter cruisers and all. This game is getting completely out of hand. But the science vessels are doing a ton of damage. And what the science vessels don't irradiate, the Marines just mop up. And Zerg, though, is spending a lot of money, has got about the same number of workers, and is still going after power generators. These filthy power generators, I think the Green Zerg is going to play really eco-heavy. Haha. And another irradiate, and another one. These science vessels have got a world of energy. We have got 12 now, and 3 batter cruisers somewhere. Here is one. And there is just no anti-air in sight. Zerg is just staying on a lot of Zerglings and Lurkers and is going to roam the map. This base will not be finished, I believe, due to these two Zerglings. Batcruiser is going to do something about this Zerg base, and I think it's going to be killed now, so that's good. Keeping the balance nicely. Here in the middle, it's still Lurkers versus Science Vessel, but now with some Batcruisers overhead and all. And Zerg just hasn't got any way of getting a decent army together. It's completely ignoring all the science vessels, and that's a bit rubbish. There is no Spore either. There are a lot of Zerglings. Production tab for Zerg is completely filled with all kinds of stuff, but right now we've got 12 vessels, 7 battlecruisers and a handful of bio, and if your Zerg does not do anti-air at all, I can imagine the game getting quite interesting. And now, where are all these battlecruisers? We've got 2 over here, 1 there. Science vessels flopping all over the place. One muter is not having a great deal of fun with all these battlecruisers about. Main is out, Natural's out, so this is kind of a 2-base versus the map situation. Zerg main is out, Natural's got some juice left in it. The problem though is that there is no anti-air at all, save a handful of muters. And with this number of science vessels and battle cruisers about, it's just not working. The Lings, they don't even get to grips. Oh, and the Mutas are going after medics instead of after the real threat, which is a pack of hungry battle cruisers. And this game is completely off the rails. The Zerglings are now invading this base over here. They are not doing so in a concerted way, so the SCVs with their upgrades can do quite well, and once the once 2 battle cruisers pop up, it's going to be quite interesting. So 12 vessels and 11 battle cruisers. Expansion for Terran is going to be slow, but this base has been depopulated. There are just way too many science vessels, and we've got now in this theater of war 8 battle cruisers, and as a Zerg you are going to have a devil's job. That's an irradiated lava. That's rubbish. But Zerg is just trying to outproduce the Terran at this point, but it's not really working, is it? Because these Zerglings, they are cheap, but they're not really doing much to counter the battle cruisers. This base is still operational, and you cannot defend the base with just Zerglings, and you need spores if there are battle cruisers and nothing else. So Killerbot really dropping the ball, and these SCVs are defending themselves quite nicely versus all the Zerglings. This base will finally be shut down. The battle cruisers have found a new target, are killing drones, and right now Purple Spirit is maxed on 10 vessels, 14 battle cruisers, 2 marines, 5 medics, and Killerbot is building another sunken, and that is completely beyond me. Lots of drones. There is a lot of money in the game still, but I think that these battle cruisers will have things locked down quite nicely, and these Zerglings, they don't have the courage anymore. They are going after the SCVs once again, but the SCVs are quite well organized. That's a decent labor union or a defending union. Oh dear, here we go. Lots more Zerglings coming in. The battle cruiser and the SCVs are getting a little bit lowish. They could do with a medic or 2. But the battle cruisers with the SCVs clean it up, and Zerg has got 4 army supply and is building more sunkens. It's I don't know. And this is what a fleet of battle cruisers looks like. Upgrade wise, they haven't got any upgrades at all for reasons, even though there is 10k money in the bank. And with all the science vessels, I think that's very hard to stop. Look at the speed at which they clean up stuff, and that was Killerbot booted from the game. Good game. Yeah, and it's to be hoped that Killerbot will receive an anti-air update, because that was quite gruesome to watch. Now back into the theme of today. It's all about random. So basically what I did was list up all the random bots we have got. At the moment, ELO rated Chimera bot is number 1 with an ELO of 2,304, closely followed by TSMU, and then 100 points later it's Velocirandom, then Purple Destiny, Dave Churchill still kicking, and Andriy Kurdimov, Random Hammer, Legacy, and Willbot, and I think that F-Tank is... Yep. Oh god, I did it again. Those are deactivated. So, yeah, there we go. And Chimera bot should not... You shouldn't be surprised at it being so good, because it's comprised of Triple ZK, McRave, and if I'm not very much mistaken... I always forget that. Ironbot. So its components are pretty good, and it should be able to get quite far with those. Now, we have got a PVT on our hands. Random Hammer playing with the bunker and some Marines. And Marines are very brave, but it's not really working versus so many Zealots. And I think that this 2-gate opening must be into something else, but for the time being just the 2-gate is pretty much shut down with this Marine play. Bunker is up, not many Marines in there, and I think that the Marines will have things well under control. No upgrades yet for either player. And I think that Random Hammer, yes, with the Academy, is going to switch into a more potent Marine composition. And Kurdimov is just going for Zealots, it looks like. And you can do that, but only up to a point, and if the enemy Marine count gets too high, you can't really do anything about that. And you can see that Stim's halfway done. There will be a medic too, and you see immediately as soon as the medics arrive, The Marines turn to fight, and now they lose heart a little bit. But with the fire bats coming up, I think that these zealots had better beware. Oh, and with the stimmed fire bats, these zealots are not going to enjoy this coming fight a lot. Although the fire bats die, a lot of shield damage is being done. No gas yet, and it's just going to be all about zealots by Kurdimov. Random Hammer is just going to take the fight, incur a couple of Marines lost, and then is going for... oh dear, that's quite silly. Should be going for the kill, because army-wise you've got the advantage in supply, and of course your tech is much better too. Range is almost done, +1 has already started, and I think versus a gasless build, that is quite well done. Expansion coming up from Kurdimov, but I don't think it's going to be in time. It's now 25 versus 6 army supply. And yeah, Random Hammer, although a couple of units keep being stuck here in the middle of the map, is now rolling up the ramp. Oh, killing the natural first. That's a good decision. Just get anything you can do. You get for free and then roll up the enemy, and you can see now that Kurdimov is in a world of trouble. Natural started by Random Hammer. Random Hammer with a decent little build order, just going for Marines, and in random play that can be quite potent. So that is, as they say, that. And we'll hop into the next game. It is Chimerabot versus Wilbot, and Chimerabot just rolled as Terran, which means it's going to be play as Iron. And Wilbot is playing Protoss, so let's see what Wilbot has got in store for us here. Of course, starting with a Pylon's always a good idea, and then with a Nexus, and that's pretty eco-hungry. Nice wall at the natural choke by Chimera, CQ, Iron. Iron going for a quick pair of factories, machine shop before a first Vulture. That is, I think, is okay. Ooh, 4 probes chasing that 1 SCV. That is going to be expensive, especially considering the worker count is not that high. We've got a couple of zealots, but they can't really do too much versus the invading vultures. But this, I think, is going to be a cannon, and that, oh, 2 cannons. So then you are pretty safe versus any kind of vulture harass. No natural yet for Chimera. I'm just going to call it Chimera, even though it's Iron Plate. Can't really keep that up all game long. And I think that Iron is going to have its contain until Wilbot will make something else than Zealots. Will Wilbot do that? Yes, we will have some goons. But the problem will probably be that there will be tanks long before that, and siege mode is already being researched. And you can see there is quite a number of vultures, so even if you have a couple of goons, you're going to have a hard time breaking out of that. And of course the vultures are being repaired meticulously. And yeah, there is the... oh, there are the first tanks. Now the zealots are moving out, but between the mines and... oh, they kill the tanks, that's pretty good. The cannon still lives, that's classy. And the Chimera has got the expansion and not a third yet. So I think that once the next couple of tanks come out, and I like the mechanic by Wilbot that if the tanks siege, they will try to push out and kill those tanks. Infrastructure wise, I think that Wilbot is doing okay. Its predicament is just, oh, why aren't the tanks sieging? Its predicament is that it's got an inferior army supply. Upgrade-wise, it's ahead, but these tanks are going to do a world of damage, and even if the vultures don't really protect the tanks as well as they should, it's just going to be way too much damage being poured on the Protoss units, and you can already see, oh, the tanks on siege, mines popping everywhere, and I think that was a good battle for Wilbot, but Wilbot, what will you do? That storm, you've got to move it back, that Templar. And now it's dead. Storms are sort of missing. And now, unless there is going to be a god-awful mine hit, I think that Chimerabot has just made... ooh, but the goons are doing good, but there are too many tanks in the rear. And even though Chimera is taking its sweet time, the contain is getting heavier and heavier. The worker count is suffering because there is a Wraith overhead, forcing vision over the worker line. And there are now 4 tanks outside. The army count for Wilbot is plummeting. There is a pair of Templar, but right now they can't do too much anymore. We've got 3 bases for Chimera, and Chimera really laying down the law. Another... Oh, that storm was actually pretty good. But the next round of tank fire takes care of the second Templar, and now the natural's completely overrun. What can you do? The main is mining out, and it's 3-1 base with an army advantage of 40 to oh no, even 20. So Iron is just moving in and out, biding its time, repairing all the units while they're attacking. And now the mineral line in the main is being engaged. So that is pretty much the game. Good build-up by Wilbot, but not enough. And the next game up is Purple Destiny, the purple random bot rolling as Terran versus Velocerandom. Of course, it's, as you can see, it's Zerg. So these players will... Oh, I need to see that again. The scouting drone is coming in, and of course you have always got this information asymmetry, and it just stays right outside of this SCV's range. So now Velocerandom knows the race of Purple Destiny, while Purple Destiny is still in the dark, and the Overlord is making its way over. The scouting drone is getting back, and now the SCV will see the Overlord and think, well, oh god, I hope there aren't going to be Zerglings, but this build wall is pretty safe with the bunker sort of covering all the workers as well. And scouting SCV got mopped up by the Zerglings, but with a Marine in the bunker's range will be increased by 1. And you can see nice filtering out of the damaged links, but so far they're just trying to attack something over here, while they just could nibble at this depot over here or run around the back. And that's still something you don't see all that often. And that can be quite good to have. Now the Lings sneak around the back. I think that's good, taking some nibbles at the workers, but all in all, they're still going just for a main attack point, which is probably the command center or something, and it's just not paying off. So if you are going to invest heavily in Zerglings, you'd better make sure they have got a more sophisticated plan of attack than just move right at the enemy command center. Then again, if you keep that many Marines, oh, now they have found an SCV to play with. That's pretty good. And the Zerg is now actually doing some damage. You can see the worker count of Terran is only 20. That's quite respectable. Now more workers are being engaged. I think that's good. The tank over here is very lucky that these Lings don't turn and fight. Academy is not finished. I wonder if Terran has got the capability of sending a new SCV. Obviously it has. And this tank is doing pretty good. Now it's 2 hatches with 9 workers for Zerg, and I think with 2 tanks and still the worker lead, that Purple Destiny is in a great position. Turret doing okay, and you can see some more Zergling shenanigans going off, and a natural taken by Velocerandom. I think it's not really fast enough, because Terran will now have access to Academy units, a couple of tanks, and of course has a worker lead of about 10. That's pretty good. More tanks coming up. That's a lot of tanks though, and that will mean for the Terran that it's going to take a while before it can project any kind of force at the Zerg shores. Zerg meanwhile is making a lot of Zerglings. Has it got speed? Yes, it has, but it just can't do anything about all these Terran units. Now, third base started by Zerg, and if this gets out of hand, the worker count for Zerg is quite nice. So, oh, and that's the lair as well, but now Terran is moving out, and Zerg can't really fight that many Stimp Marines with medics, with tanks, and you can see the Zerg army is sort of running, bashing its head in every time the Marines stop and fire. And even though there aren't many medics in the war train, I think that this is going to be a swift battle. There is a spire, the Marines are quite damaged, so perhaps Zerg could make something work. Small Peak will have some neuters, perhaps they can bring back the game, but a number of workers will be lost and nothing much is happening here. And, oh, as I feared, more Marines will be coming. The neuters, they take care of the wounded Marines first, but then it's just Stimp Marines versus only 1 or 2 neuters at the time, and that's just not enough. And even though there aren't any medics, oh, here come the medics. I think that Terran is just doing very well for itself. Now rolling up the base with about 10, no, that's 9 tanks. There is such a lot of firepower in those, and now the spire dies, the lair dies, and there is one more base, but somehow I fear it's not going to be enough. Purple's destiny is rolling and cleaning up the natural and the main, and looks like it's going to find not... Oh dear. That's quite sloppy. It's going after all the main locations first without any kind of fancy distributed search algorithms. Now here come the Marines. What's there? Just workers. So that's the GG. Purple Destiny rolling over Velocirandom, and let's hop into the next game. It's Kurdimov versus Legacy, and Legacy now is a not as full-fledged, well-established bot as, for example, Purple Destiny. So let's see how Kurdimov is going to play. Oh, with a lot of Zerglings, now playing tag with the lone Zealot. There are 2 more Zealots here, so I think that the Zealots will have it at the end of the day. And this scouting drone is pretty brave, going to offer a bit of minerals and then lay down its life for the cost of knowing something that the Zerglings have already seen. So I don't know what that's about, but you never know. So now the Zealot numbers are increasing. I think that the Zergling play is going to get stale. There are only 4 workers, and well, there are over 10, 12, 13 here. And I think that unless Zerg is going to get something done right quick, it's not going to matter much anymore, because there will just be too many Protoss. They are pursuing the Zealots though, which is good. And now the battle, I think, will be decided in the Zealots' favor. There isn't any life lost, just a couple of shield points, one or two Zealots lost some life points as well. But still it's 4 workers, and now the Protoss has got 18. Oh my goodness. We've got 3 gateways and an army advantage. So Kurdimov's Zerg play is okay, but it's rather all-inish, and Protoss just shuts it down with a simple 2-gate and building workers on top of that. Now the victory is theirs. So Legacy, yeah, full build play doesn't do it. And let's see how the next game is going to play. We've got TSMU Random, which rolled Zerg, and TSMU Zerg is one of the most ferocious bots, if you don't count its enormous tendency to just harass and not fight straight up fights. And Velocirandom rolled Protoss sees everything, is going for a 2-gate, and that's always a good opening. Not only if you are going random, but also if you are going to play versus Zerg. However, you just can do a lot of pressure with a 2-gate. And right now you see we've got 3 Zealots, you've got nothing at the enemies. There will be 1 sunken, there will be one sunken, and a handful of Zerglings. The Zerglings are quite suicidal, that's rather unlike TSMU, and now it's 5 Zealots and no Zerglings anymore at all. So that's rubbish. And now 4 Zerglings, 1 sunken, and still 3 Zealots. They will take care of that. Oh, and they forget to kill the sunken while 5 or 6 Zerglings chase them away. Gas, meanwhile, has been taken, and it's 3 base economy with a nice number of workers. That's double the number of that of Zerg. Zerg has got this double base up, so that's good. Extra in-base hatchery for extra larvae production. That's good as well. And the Zealots, they don't really dare attack Sunken, and that's... I even dare say that TSMU could do with another Sunken, because that one's so badly damaged. Obviously, it's not really evaluating the health of that Sunken, or rather decided that units and Lings are the better choice for the time being, especially since there are goons coming up without range, so that's not the worst issue right now for Zerg. But, oh, here we go, full-scale attack. Have they got speed and all? And no, and that's a strange tidbit, because if you are going to rely on Zerglings so much, and here come even more Zerglings, wow, that's a lot of Zerglings, it would definitely make sense to get speed, or even like Kilobot does, get the +1, the weapons and the armor. That would be really great. And now the worker count slowly rising for TSMU Zerg as well. That's just scouting action going on. And now this Protoss army with a couple of goons, which will have range soon too. It can do quite well versus Zerglings, and there is still only this one half-assed damaged Sunken over here. and the Protoss kills it without much resistance. And TSMU, the Zerglings, they don't want to fight. They are cowardly. They are completely yellow. The drones are dying left, right, and center. What's TSMU building? Building an Evo chamber. That's nice to have, but not if the enemy's got 40 army supply and you only got about 8. That's just not going to do it. And Velocirandom with 2 gate into a longer game is going to take down TSMU Random. That's quite well done. Congratulations. Next game up is Kurdimov versus a Random Hammer. Kurdimov rolled a Zerg once again. It's, I'd say, not going for a 4 pool, but this is a 5 pool, and that's not very much better, is it? While Random Hammer starting out with a pylon, and I think after that it's going to be a gateway. Oh, 2 gateways, that's pretty good. The Lings will be on their way, but with 2 gates I think you'll have 2 Zealots right quick. And ooh, there they are. They die. The Zerglings take the base by storm, and now you've only got 4 drones probes left, and we've got 5 versus 5 workers. The game is getting to be rather tense. There are 2 Zealots out, and I think that by the time they reach the Zerg will have another pair of Zerglings ready and can pursue those Zealots. And Protoss is stuck or reduced to building probes for the near future. Could build 2 Zealots, which it definitely should do, especially considering all the Zealots on the Zerglings on the tail of these Zealots. But for some reason, it's better to have this money in the bank, and now the probes are paying the price for that. Random Hammer really dropped the ball there, and Kurdimov says thank you very much, and well, good game, because that's it really. We've got probe production going on, but a couple of Zealots would have been nice too. So next game up, it's Legacy versus Dave Churchill. Legacy tried it with a 4 pool earlier. This time rolled as Protoss, so don't know what the builder will be. We've got Dave Churchill with Zerg. That's good. Oh, I thought, yes, oh god, there we go, another 5 pool. And I don't know why. Of course you've got the code for 3 races, so that can be quite daunting. But why the 5 pool is so very much in favor with the Zerg today. And the Zerg is going to find the Protoss right quick. It will have 1... oh, no proxy hatch, that could have been nice. Scouting drone. Oh, and the Zealot will die. The next Zealot will do a lot of damage, but now we've got 6 Zerglings and a drone. And I think that sort of answers the question why 5 pool is such a prolific build order in random play, because it's so very effective. The Protoss worker count is down the toilet. It hasn't got money to build more workers, and although there is a Zealot coming, I don't think it's going to enjoy itself very much, because the Zerg numbers will ever increase, and without money, this is sort of the last Zealot that Protoss will ever have, and the Zergling numbers will just increase and increase, and 6 Zerglings will easily take down a Zealot, even though 1 or 2 will fall. That's the game. Another 5 pool win, this time Legacy over Dave Churchill. Let's hop into the next game. It's Purple Destiny versus Wilbot. Destiny rolled Protoss, and you've got to ask yourself, is this then Purple Wave playing? If so, that's going to be pretty good. At the other end, we've got Wilbot with the Zerg, and personally, I don't really know anything about the Zerg or Wilbot, so we're just going to have to wait and see. Lots of drones, and that was a 9 pool or something like that, with a Sunken in a bad position. Oh, we'll protect the main. Another hatch, another Sunken, no natural. 2 Zealots coming in. But versus 2 Sunkens, who builds 2 Sunkens? You don't really expect that. It's much like seeing the Spanish Inquisition on the top of the ramp. We've got this... oh, that's going to be a lair. Good morning to you, sir. Lots of Sunkens, so I think that Zerg will be pretty safe. And, oh, that's going to be Hydra. So, perhaps some kind of a lurker build. Small guess. This is going to go to 200 and then down to 0 all at once. For the time being, units are being built, and oh well, Zergling Hydra off 1 base. I can't really imagine it working all that well. Protoss is switching into goons, has got range done. Oh yes, and here we've got lurkers. Lurkers will be required to save the day, because you can see that the army count is in favor of Protoss by a huge margin, and Protoss has got the worker lead, and if you look on the minimap, has got a natural started as well. The Hydra Ling army can't of course repel that many Protoss units. The thingy, the Sunken of course can. And now you've got 3 lurkers, which are not going to do anything. The Hydras and the Zerglings will have to do the heavy fighting, and then they'll die, and the lurkers are just sticking to the high ground, guarding the workers, while a natural base is already up for Protoss, and that's going to be quite iffy. Protoss just taking its sweet time, building a lot of goons, and if I'm not very much mistaken, yes, that was an observatory in the production queue. So now it's 2 versus 1 base. The lurkers are not doing anything, and build order wise this might make some sense, but oh, the natural got shot to pieces, and Protoss is just going to kill a lot of them. Oh, here comes the observer. Protoss is just going to 1A, 2A, 3A right into the Zerg base, as it's prone to do. And some... oh, that's cannons, I believe, yeah. That's a lot of damage in these goons right there. It's 60 versus 2 or 1 army supply. This is good game, and, well, Purple Destiny really playing rather well. Veloster Random versus Legacy now, so that's a little bit the bottom tier of the Random versus Random ladder. Legacy has the Purple Terran, going for a barracks and no depot, so quite aggressive, while Zerg is not going for a 5 pool. That's a relief, I would say. But still a little bit of Zergling pressure. We've got about 6 Zerglings, 1 Marine, and all that. Although that sounds like a cheesy porn video, it's actually much more fun. And the defense of the Marines is not really as good. And the worker count is going to be severely depressed. And the Zerglings, they kill the Terran base and then they move out again. Kill the barracks, kill the last worker. Legacy. Oh, there is a Marine there. I don't know where it came from. Kill the command center and then bugger off again, while we've got a depot in the far top right. And these links will have some scouting to do, I can tell you. Meanwhile, we've got 7 workers left, and I'm going to speed it up, just going to see what these units will do. They'll just try and visit and revisit all the starting locations and the mineral patches, but they are not really going to find anywhere. It's just like watching a huge game of Snake. You can see the snake here in the middle of the minimap. It's going to take forever. Will they finally... oh, the Mutas will find it. And winning the game with an army composition of 86 Zerglings and 7 Mutas is Veloster Random. Congratulations. Okay, so Purple Destiny versus Legacy. Destiny rolling as Terran. We saw a good bio game from it earlier. And now it's going to play quite defensively. Bunker covering almost everything. Couple of Marines. And Legacy is going for a 3-gate build. That's also quite aggressive, but I think that Purple Destiny with its defensive capabilities will be able to do quite nicely, although there are 2 or 3 or 4 Zealots already. And the Marines are getting... they'll need to protect the outlying buildings as well, but by now there are so many Marines they can sort of micro down the Zealots. And another one will fall, and the Zealot count, however, is increasing. The worker count for Protoss is stuck at 19. That will mean a huge influx of Zealots, and they will disrupt mining. And if mining is disrupted, Purple Destiny can't really make all that many combat units. The bunker is doing okay, but this bunker has got a huge stretch of territory to cover. And by this time you might have wished to build that bunker somewhere near a choke, so that your own economy could do a little bit better. Right now we've got 24, 26 versus 5 army supply. The Zealots are all over this, and I don't think that Legacy is going to do much more than just continue to pressure and important to watch now is the worker count for Destiny. It's 22, 21. It's doing okay, but there is only one barracks, and that is really the issue. This one bunker is doing tremendous amounts of damage to all the zealots, but still the worker count is slowly decreasing, and you can see how much mining time is actually lost here in the middle of the map. Purple Destiny needs a second barracks, preferably here to just zone out some more zealots and give the Marines some room to micro behind those barracks. Right now, worker count slowly falling. Used to be 22, now 18. Still mining time lost. Bunker is doing a ton of damage. And the worker count for Legacy is not increasing, but all in all, there is no mineral income for Destiny at this point. And without a second bunker or a second barracks, it's going to be pretty rough. I'm going to speed it up just a little tiny notch. You can see 17 workers now. Protoss doing okay, but here at the bottom some workers are being killed. Now 9 workers, 8, 9, and this will surely be the end. There is no income anymore. The bunker is down, and Legacy with an aggressive build wins, and that is really what this game is about. It's about early aggression. If your enemy can't reach your race, then it will be hard to withstand the pressure coming from an unknown source, whether it be a marine push, a zergling run, or a 2-gate, probably a proxy 2-gate. That would be very lethal. And that brings us to the last game of the day. It's Purple Destiny versus TSMU Random. TSMU rolled as Terran, and people forget that TSMU Terran used to be the dominant Terran about, well, that's 4 years ago, something like that. Right now we've got a handful of Zerglings, and the Zerglings are pursuing one SCV. What will we have here? 3, 4 Marines. They will need pretty good micro, which they do not possess, but the SCV is coming out to help as well. The question is, how many workers are there on the Zerg end of things? We've got 9, and the Zerg's been able to squeeze out a lair and a spire as well. Oh, the marine count severely depressed. The workers are defending for what they are worth, but with only 2 marines. Oh, the marines doing quite well though. Being mixed in with the workers, they get a lot of damage done. But TSMU's only got 14 workers, now 3 marines, and I think that this is going to be a... Oh, it's not a spire, it's going to be a Hydra Den. And if this... Yes, this must be Lurker aspect is going to be ready soon. There will be a Vulture out and some Marines, so it's by no means said that these Hydras will actually be able to do anything. And now the Vulture, oh, the Vulture is coming back to defend. 1 Hydra, it cannot morph right here. It's very, very, very dangerous, but the Terran units let it go, let it slip by. TSMU has got this hidden factory over here, I missed that. And this is the ballsiest position to make a Lurker egg. And TSMU needs to stop that right now, because, oh, a second Lurker is coming, and there is no scanner, there is nothing, there aren't any mines. And once this Lurker pops, TSMU would have wished to have stopped that. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That is going to be... It doesn't really understand what's going on. There is a Lurker, it has got full health, the egg was not attacked. And TSMU... Oh dear, the Lurker is now going to hit the building natural. What is this? Oh, this brace of vultures is going after the Hydras, but TSMU does not understand that this game is not about Hydras, it's about Lurkers, and they kill the building SCV. Marines are running for their lives, and this one gets away. Another SCV is being sent to build, but it's not working. TSMU just sending in another one regardless and not going to bother with scanning, just going for a Stargate, and it's sort of preparing for muters, but there aren't going to be any muters. There are Lurkers, 2 of them. And that is quite dangerous. What upgrade will that be? Will be Spider Mines, so perhaps with the Spider Mines TSMU can get it done. These 2 Lurkers though will need to be stopped quite... well, now actually, before they reach the enemy... the mineral line. Wraith might be nice too. Spider mines are not yet done, and we've got lurkers in the mineral line, and that's not good at all. So many SCVs are being damaged already. Mining time is lost. There is no Wraith, a control tower. TSU reading this or doesn't read this at all. We've got one more Hydra casually strolling over. Natural now by Purple Destiny, and TSU falling, well, you can't really call it cheese. It was done in full view, but hasn't got a counter. And these mines here at the back of the base will probably be of great use, but the lurkers are over here, and they are doing way too much damage to everything. Oh, and another one is being morphed in full sight. So if you see something like this happening, command center ought to be lifted. Perhaps with the mines you could get something done, but I think that Purple Destiny is going to have its way this game, and that sort of wraps it up for random bots. They rely heavily not on sophisticated build orders, or save Chimera Bot, which just took 3 really good bots, but it's all about early aggression and hope that the enemy hasn't got a clever script to counter it, which seems to have been the case over here. We've got lurkers everywhere, more lurkers being morphed in plain sight, and although some of the lurkers are getting to be pretty damaged, these two vultures, they won't enjoy the sights very much, and Purple Destiny is just going to build more and more and is not really breaking a sweat. And so far for random build orders, they take an enormous amount of time to code, because you have to code for all 3 races, and that is very hard to do. And now TSMU is going to have to GG. Purple Destiny wins it. That's the last game of this week. A little bit of random action, random versus random. I hope you enjoyed it. And to all you authors coding random bots, keep up the good work. It's really nice to watch, and I hope that build order wise it will improve as well. So thank you everyone for watching. Hope to see you again next week. For now I say goodbye.